Hey you guys, Jessie here from Urban Legends Antiques, and I am back with another Fall Light Academia playlist hosted by Michelle of Moxie DIY and Java. So I did the DIY. I'm not doing a tablescape because we're moving. We're in escrow, so by the time this video drops, I'm gonna be signing paperwork and getting keys to my home. All right, let's get started. When I think of doing a project or a craft for the Light Academia aesthetic, I think of beautiful, organic, handmade items, and that's what I'm going to do. So I have here some fabric ink, I have my handy dandy JRV stencil brush, and I have the horse toile stencil from the JRV stencil line. I have some drop cloth that I got from Harbor Freight, and my plan is to make my own chinoiserie print onto the fabric that I'm going to use to cover up some chairs. I have never used this style of paint before, so I'm going to try out two different styles of stenciling to see which one works better and gives me the prettiest look for my fabric. So first in, I did not offload my brush, I just kind of dabbed into the paint, and now I'm doing the pouncing technique on the drop cloth just to see how it turns out. Most of the videos that I watched on YouTube, people were doing the pouncing technique onto their stencils. And for me, by the end of this first round, my wrist was starting to hurt. So I'm gonna try the swirl technique as well and see which way works better. I just moved the camera around so that way you guys could see me stenciling without the print being upside down. And I found that with the fabric paint, I was able to swirl using my JRV stencil brush, and I got a really good print. So I'm gonna continue swirling onto my fabric instead of doing the pouncing technique, and look how pretty it comes out. I love it. This type of fabric paint is almost like an ink, and it works really well to stencil with. I was really happy using it, and just doing the swirl technique was easier for me than doing pouncing, and I was able to get a large amount of fabric done in about an hour. As you can see, when I lift up, it is not a perfect print. It's organic, it's more natural looking, it's not all perfect black or perfect gray, and I think that that is a perfect style for the Light Academia look that I'm going for. Okay, so here's the chair that I'm planning on recovering with the fabric. It was found on the side of the road, and I really liked the way that the arms looked. The glaze that's on it, or the stain, is flaking off, so I'm planning on sanding it down. But first what I want to do is I want to get the fabric off and see what is underneath it and see if it's good enough to recover, or if I have to get like some new padding and underlayment for it as well. Here we go. I'm cutting right into the fabric. I want to see what's underneath it. I'm going to try to get this fabric off as quickly as possible. When you are redoing furniture to resell, time is literally money. So I've already spent an hour of my time redoing, or not redoing, but making the fabric to cover this chair with. And I want to try and get this chair opened up and ready as soon as possible so that I can recover it. I don't want to spend the entire day doing this chair. So that's why I'm kind of being a little bit rough and just cutting into it. Already underneath, I see that there's another layer of fabric that I'm going to have to cut through. The good news though is that the padding on the back of the chair is in perfect condition. So I can use this again, and I'm very happy with that because that saves me some money. This is a really well-made, high-quality chair. Each of these brass tacks were tapped in by hand. It's not a strip that someone tapped on. So I have to get to work and try to get all of these tacks off as quickly as possible. I've been timing myself while I've been removing all of the tacks and fabric from this chair, and I just hit hour 2. So I am going to try to hurry up and finish up. I have all of the tacks removed. That took me an hour. So now we are 2 hours into this project. Let's see what I can do now. I'm trying to get the staples out from around the arms of the chairs, and it's really hard. And apparently, this is why. They were all stapled together. When I got the staples out of the fabric, the arms fell off of the chair. So now this chair is done. I don't have the time to repair it. So I'm sorry, chair, but we're gonna have to move on to something else. While I figure out what I'm going to do though with this fabric, let's have a quick little tour of the house that I'm buying. This is a historical home in Southern California. It is over 100 years old. No, It's 99 years old. I'm sorry. It's gonna be 100 years old next year. And I think it is just stunning. It completely and perfectly fits my aesthetic, Chuck's aesthetic. Look at, there's transom windows over the front door. It is so, so beautiful. The first time I walked into this house, I literally burst into tears. There's French doors, there's wood everywhere, there's all kinds of details. There's windows. I loved it. Having said that, there are always going to be issues with an older home, and here is one of them. Look at the scary air conditioner. When the inspector came, he turned it on. It still works. I have zero plans of running it, but it's just going to be one of the projects that we work on. We have beautiful fans that are blowing. There's like this built-in that, I don't know if that's supposed to be for a bar or if it's supposed to be for dishes or what. Our ceiling has a drop ceiling, which we don't quite understand why. We're going to look into that later as well. But you know, the projects are starting to pile up. In the meantime, though, I just think this house is completely and totally beautiful. I love all of the wood. I love the cased openings. I'm so happy that it's something that is in our price range that we can purchase. Back to our project. I pulled out these 4 chairs from our furniture pile. I had been planning on doing something else with them, but we kind of took a look at them and decided that they're going to be good. We can use the fabric and recover them, and it's going to fit perfectly with the kind of horse toile or Reupholstery style that we're trying for. So they came off really easily. The chairs came off really easily. We're going to get the fabric off and see what's underneath. Okay, so luckily, all of the padding on all 4 chairs is still good. None of it is disintegrating or shredding. The wood on the chairs is still really good. It's still stable and solid. We were able to get the fabric off easily, and we are going to start recovering chairs. Because I had made so much of this print because I was planning to do the front and back of that larger chair, we had enough to recover the 4 chairs. So I'm just cutting out chair seats, and we're going to get them ready and start stapling them in the garage. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Urban Legends Antiques, and I have a website with items available to ship, including this stencil and stencil brush that I used on this video at urbanlegendsantiques.com. I've got the fabric for 4 chair seats cut out, and I'm gonna start stapling. I have my fabric pulled taut, and I am stapling along the edge. I'm making a French pleat, so you put a staple in the middle, fold the fabric over, put a staple on, and then fold the other corner of the fabric over, put a staple there to secure it, and you have a perfect little French pleat. I'm going to staple along the sides and get this first chair seat done. Here is seat number 2. Number 3. And here's number 4. Now that they're all done, I'm just going to take a moment and admire my work. It's Chuck's turn to step in again. He's got his handy dandy drill out, and he's reattaching the seats to the chairs. The chairs have been cleaned, dusted, recovered. Not bad for a Saturday afternoon. I do think I'm going to put a little bit of oil onto the wood just because they are a little bit dry, but at this point we're pretty much done. So now, how are we going to end this video? Oh my gosh. Each of the chairs have been cleaned, oiled. We recovered them in a drop cloth that I painted this light academia aesthetic look onto using the horse toile stencil, and I really love the look of them. Don't forget to check out the description box so you can see everyone else that has been in this playlist. Thanks again to Michelle from Moxie DIY and Java for hosting this fun collab. I'm Jessie from Urban Legends Antiques, and thanks for coming along for the ride. Bye. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This collab again. I love doing the lightest.